What's up, guys? Thanks for stopping in. It's good to see you. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. I am, because I'm getting to talk to you about a movie for a little bit, guys. Today we're going to be talking about a movie from 2009, directed by Mr. Joel Schumacher. This is a little outside of his wheelhouse, I think. I've never really seen him direct a film like this before. This is called Blood Creek. Before we get started, you know the drill. Hit that like and subscribe button. Guys, Blood Creek, let's talk about this. As you can see from the poster at the beginning of the video, it's about some Nazis, okay? It's about some World War II atrocities. But it's got a good cast, and it's got someone in it that I didn't even realize that's who it was until I looked this film's cast up to do this review. So let's talk about it, guys. Blood Creek. This is in World War II, apparently Hitler, he's obsessed with the occult. He thinks that the occult is what's going to help him to conquer the world, make sure the master race succeeds, has its 1,000-year Reich, or whatever it is. And so he sends these different, occult scholars to these different families where these Nordic runestones are on their property. Well, these Nordic runestones wind up giving people, like supernatural, immortal powers, something like that. But it's not like good side effects, like you get lightning or something. No, this is this is a very unique take on vampirism. And we'll get to that, but let's start with this. So that's kind of the premise of the film. Then we meet our characters, which is Henry Cavill and Dominic Purcell. Henry Cavill is kind of a young farm boy. He takes care of his ailing father who, is decrepit and can't run the farm anymore. Dominic Purcell has been gone for 2 years. Henry Cavill's taking care of his kids, as their uncle. He's making sure that his brother's wife is kind of taken care of. Not in that way, you perverts. And then he's, he's doing the things that someone would do to take care of their family, right? If their older brother had left. And so we're sitting there, and all of a sudden Dominic Purcell kind of reappears, and he says, "Come with me, you've got to help me do something." And this is where our movie truly begins, because he explains to Henry Cavill, "We're going and doing some stuff, and these people took 2 years of my life." And we get out there to this farm, and this farm is surrounded by a gate with all these different symbols on them, like these fences. And so we go into this farm, and they start exacting their revenge and whatever, and then come to find out there is this thing in there, right? And this thing is like a Nazi vampire, and it is so cool because he starts off almost looking like Darkman. If you guys don't know who Darkman is, look it up. It's a Sam Raimi movie. He kind of starts looking like Darkman. But then the more he feeds, the more he grows. He starts shedding his skin like a snake and looking more human. And it's just really interesting. There was one instance of CGI that I could tell that looked very poor. But other than that, everything looks spot on as far as the blood, the viscera. It was very well made production-wise as far as special effects. The acting, Henry Cavill, I've always, he's a great actor. I've loved him since he was Dantes' son in The Count of Monte Cristo with Jim Caviezel and Guy Pearce. He's a really good actor, and he's really good in this, playing the naive brother who's like, "I'm not used to all this, what's going on?" And he hesitates and he's freaking out. And so he's really good at that. Dominic Purcell, as always, plays a really good heavy, I'm the dominant, I'm the alpha male, and you're going to do what I say. He's that guy. And so I thought that was excellent. What blew my mind just a few minutes ago while I'm looking this movie up was that Worth. Now, Worth, he's our Nazi vampire. He is played by none other than Michael Fassbender. Blew my mind. I did not see that coming, because you can't tell who Worth is, because he's all, when you first see Worth in this film, when he comes out of his lair, he looks like Nemesis from Resident Evil 2. he's just a big old dude wearing a trench coat, but it looks, he is intimidating. So the costume design, the creature design for him is awesome. And then you get such a great actor as Michael Fassbender to portray this creature, this, monstrosity in inner soul and outer body. He's a monster through and through. And for him to portray this and his body language and the way he delivered his lines, everything was fantastic. In fact, the first time I saw this movie was back in 2009 with my late brother Justin. And we'd watched it, and this is back when Netflix had the mail-in service. So you would, you'd go online, you'd pick your movie, and they'd send you a DVD in the mail. And so we rented this one weekend, and we watched it, and I gave it 4 stars because I thought it was amazing back then. But I have not seen it since 2009. And so the other day, I found it on Prime for $4.99, and I went, and I remember enjoying it when I saw it the first time. So I went back and looked at my old Netflix app, and sure enough, I had given it 4 stars. And I thought, well, let's check it out again. And man, now I know why I gave it 4 stars, because this is such a well-made film. And for Joel Schumacher to make this, get out of town. He gave us neon Batman. He gave us colorful black light Batman. And then he gives us this dark, brooding, visceral, like vampire film. And I'm just like, why couldn't you do this with Batman, bro? Warner Brothers ain't got that big of a string on you. Like, that could have been Batman. But that's beside the point. I digress. This film was awesome. I'm glad that I purchased it. It's definitely a 4-star film. I think if you checked it out, if you watched it, you would more than likely like it because of just how well it's made. The production design, the acting, special effects, costume design, sound editing, everything was phenomenal in this film. And it really was, like, I don't know if it got a theatrical release, but if it didn't, it is a gem for a straight to video film, guys. So definitely check it out. It's not streaming anywhere that I could find. Like I said, I bought a digital copy for $4.99 on Prime. So if you want to check it out, good luck. Find it. If I were y'all, I'd find a physical copy just so you could own it forever. But that's it, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out and talking with me about Blood Creek. Hit that like and subscribe button on the way out. And as always, I'm going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them. Peace out. God bless you. And I will see you soon.